Hello. Welcome back to the Miss Annie B Show. Annie B Show. If you like what you see, make sure you like. If you're really trying to be in my business, I don't think y'all can see my man Brent today. So, shirt, NCCU. Shout out to my HBCU. Let them know because I know you are. Subscribe. And if you really got something to tell me, pimping, leave a comment down below because Plug Talk back. Just talk to me nice though. What it is, what it do. Welcome back. How are you? So, y'all, I am excited because your girl finally worked out. The workout vlog is coming real soon, y'all, in the next 1 to 2 videos. Can't wait. Wow, I finally worked out. So, yes, y'all, it has been months since your girl worked out. I did a 45 strength resistance. So, I did that like the other day. Then yesterday, I just relaxed because I was tired. It had been a while since I worked out like that. Your girl was tired. So I was like, I'm going to finish out my remaining 2 workouts. My goal is to work out 150 minutes a week. That's what they recommend. So I know for my schedule, knocking them out in 3 days is better. Some people, the 30-minute every day works better because they recommend you to work out every day anyway. But I know they said at least each week get 150 minutes, so that's what I'm focusing on. Right now, my schedule in my life, 3 days works better than me than 30 minutes every day. So I do 45 on 2 days. I use that for my strength resistance. I'm trying to lose weight. You need to gain muscle because how you gain muscle? You burn fat. And then I do an hour of cardio because you gotta move that body, yada. So yes. Also, y'all, I'm holding my microphone today because my past few videos I've noticed I've sounded a little muffled because I've been putting the microphone here. So we're just gonna try this out today to see, do I need to be like a news reporter reporting live from my room. So yeah. But today, a little hint with the shirt, we're gonna talk about with these workouts. HBCU or PWI, honey. We're going to get into it. So if you don't know, I have had the pleasure of doing both. And I mean, like, not like transferring, like, for my undergrad, I went to a HBCU. Shout out to NCCU. And then for my graduate, I received my MBA from UNCG. For those who are not familiar, that is the University of North Carolina at Greensboro. So a lot of y'all just know the primary UNC, so University of North Carolina, which is located in Chapel Hill, but it has branches. You have Charlotte, it's a UNC Charlotte. You have a UNC Pembroke, that's like our mountain area, and you have a UNC Greensboro. We call that the diverse one. That's the most diverse one. And then yeah, you have UNC Chapel Hill. So I went there. So today we're going to talk about the pros and cons of HBCUs versus PWIs. I'm going to say what I preferred at the end and leave a comment down below what you prefer. So we're going to start with the HBCU at first, of course, because that's where I went first. Shout out to my HBCUs. Okay. Now, for those who don't know what an HBCU is, y'all, my mic and died on me, honey. So we're gonna do this video like this, okay? My mic and died on me. So here we go. Hopefully y'all can hear me. But HBCU is a historical black college or university. HBCU. So some history of that. In the United States, for a period of time, black or African Americans, however you want to be labeled, were not allowed in schools, were not allowed in colleges. So in the late 1800s, early 1900s, wealthy black African Americans all over the United States, mainly in the South, created HBCUs so people of color can get higher education, better opportunities. So a lot of HBCUs you're gonna see were 1890s, 1880s, 1910, 1905, things of that nature. So yes, so that's the background. So let's get into some negative stereotypes you hear about HBCUs. They take anybody. Not necessarily. So if you look at HBCUs and PWIs, you don't know what a PWI is, that's a predominantly white institution. So 80 to 90% of their student body are white or Caucasians, however you want to be labeled. They typically have higher test score. Like to get in, you need like certain test scores. They are higher than HBCUs. Well, the reason HBCUs test scores qualifications are lower because HBCUs believes in redemption. HBCUs believe in second chances because remember, the standards that HBCUs were built on, we wasn't allowed education as our white counterparts. So sometimes the education we got was like second-handed or like delayed because we didn't have the new information. So HBCUs, they have it lower for a better acceptance rate. And HBCUs, I'm pretty sure PWIs, they all have these hero stories where a student came in, did not do academically well in high school, wanted to prove themselves in college, and they did. So that's why the scores are typically higher, not because it's a dumber school, a dumber university. It just believes in equal opportunity. And we all know you could be the smartest person in the world and still be horrible at tests. That just happened. You cannot be the smartest person in the world but know how to finesse a test. So HBCUs don't stand on that, oh, you got to have high test scores to get in. They have to be decent, but they give people a chance. Typically, HBCUs, you probably need a 2.5 when you're in versus PWIs. You're going to need at least a 3.0. I had like close to a 4.0 in high school. So, but that's one of the stereotypes. And at first, that made me want to stay away from HBCUs until I did my research. So please don't let that scare you. Another con about HBCUs, y'all, everybody thinks it's party schools. Now, I'm not gonna lie, we party. I've come from a party school, okay? We party, but we also believe in work hard, play harder. In college, that freshman year, that's why at every university, you notice they take a picture of your class freshman year, because each semester it's going to get smaller and smaller. People are going to drop out. Some people are going to be like, college is not for me. Some people are going to be like, this university is not for me. Some people are not mature enough to handle college. You're independent. So imagine being a teenager where your parent is usually waking you up. The teachers in high school, did you do this? Did you do that? Then you get to this environment where most of the time you're away from home and you're responsible for everything. This is your first time being a fully functional adult on your own. So getting food, going to class, doing homework. Nobody's going to babysit you. That's up to you. That's what a lot of growing up happens in college. So it's up to the individual to say, hey, I'm going to have fun and get my work done. Some colleges have more lively events than others. Hey, I went to class, I did my partying, and I graduated magna cum laude, 3.8 or higher. So it's up to you how you get it done. So now we're going to talk about the pros, in my opinion, of HBCUs. Culture. If you've never been in an area where you felt like you were the majority and you're a minority as an HBCU, you're going to feel that. It's culture, and it's different cultures. Like my HBCU, I learned about island culture, different countries. Like we have festivals to celebrate everyone. I learned about my Black American culture, that I learned things at my HBCU that I knew for a fact I would not learn it at a PWI, because they highlight that, because they know at other schools Black American history is not the first priority. So you're going to get so much culture there. You're going to get culture there that you just don't get at a PWI. You don't. The second thing I'm going to say is connections. Now, when I say connections, this is different from networking. I'm going to say the networking for the PWI. That's the pro for the PWI. But connection. NCCU, I still have my friends from there. I still can be in contact with professors there. When I go back to homecoming is big at HBCUs. That's like a reunion every year. Connections there. You built life-lasting connections there. Like if I need a recommendation, I know I can reach out to a professor right now and they will help me. Lasting connections, culture, lasting connections. It really feels like family. You have professors that, even though at a college it's not their job, like, hey, you need to be doing this, hey, you need to do that, hey, I have an opportunity for you. Professors, especially HBCUs, they typically do that because they know their students, a minority, were already facing discrimination in the workforce, right, or being a minority. So they're going to set us up for the best case scenarios where you won't get that at a PWI, what I'm going to explain later. So that is the pros for HBCUs. The culture. Okay? The culture. Connection. Family. So let's get into PWIs. Okay? So PWIs are predominantly white institutions. These institutions started like late 1700s. They go back, but predominantly white institutions. So what are some cons of PWIs? They're typically harder to get into. their test scores are higher. So as I explained why the HBCU test scores are lower, so it's higher to get into. So if you want to get in a PWI, you're going to have to do more studying. The cons is, their con is a pro is how you look at it too, but it's about networking versus connection, or it's about networking versus hard work. So when I went to a PWI, I graduated with 3.5, but I didn't have connections there. A PWI, a pro of a PWI is you're gonna have a lot of more resources presented to you than at a HBCU. So, and I'm gonna get into that when I explain the pros. So, although I had all these resources, I didn't have a connection. I didn't feel like I had people rooting for me or somebody in my corner saying, "Hey, did you see that?" It was all about, all right, here are these resources. It's your job to network and pursue. And as a first generation college student, I didn't have a parent that in the corporate world that can, say, "Hey, go talk to so and so, they work over here," or I didn't have like, "Oh, my granddad knows this company that's coming, so I can slick in there." So having, it wasn't connection, but it was plenty networking opportunities, but it wasn't connections. And then you could see the favoritism with the connections. Like, I'm not gonna say no names, but I had an advisor there. She definitely looked out for a group of students because they were her culture. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but she made sure our summertime we had to have internships. Before our first semester, they all had internships. Now, could I did my part and reach out to her and be like, "Hey, can you help me?" And I think I did. And I think she sent me like a website, which I did get my internship off of, but that was it. Versus, I'm pretty sure the people from her culture got extra help because she related to them. So, the cons for PWIs: higher test scores, harder to get into, network over connections, and the price. Typically, a PWI is going to cost way more than a HBCU. So let's get into the pros. The pros, which I commented on the cons, is networking. At the PWI, Lilly, because I was in the School of Business, every week we had a big company coming. Every week we had a big company coming. And then every semester we had a big career fair. So it was always resources there, but you have to have the networks to connect with these companies. Versus my HBCU, now don't get it twisted, we had resources too, but it wasn't every week. We'll probably have 2 every semester of like a college fair, we'll college career fair, like 1 every semester, or 2. The second one probably be a mini one of these large companies coming, like IBM, Cisco, things of that nature. They would come to campus and we can connect with them. My HBCU, I had an internship as well, and I found it on the HBCU website. But it wasn't as frequent as my PWI. So I will say with PWIs, they have more connections with businesses. My HBCU, we got it once or twice a semester, versus my PWI, every week somebody was coming. The second pro, a name. Like we all heard, even if you're not in sports, we've heard of Duke, heard of UNC. So when you get a degree from this place, it's like, ooh, I come from here. So it's like distinguished. Now, just because you come from a place don't mean you're going to get a job. People might say, "Oh, you're from Duke," and you still might get passed on. But it's the esteem, it's the reputation that some of these people go there. So that's the pros of PWI. More resources, and it's, pristine of, hey, I went there. In my personal opinion, I prefer HBCUs. I really do. I felt connected there. I felt wanted there. I felt needs. At my PWI, I met amazing people. I get my PWI there. I met some I miss my cohort. Shout out to us. We went through some long nights together. I'm talking about 3 a.m. We calling each other writing papers. I experienced cultural stuff I never would have if I went there, because and that's one thing. The PWI I went to was the most diverse UNCG. It was the most diverse UNC. I did that on purpose because coming from an HBCU, I still wanted to be around people. And even though my class, it probably was, probably 6 black people, and our class was like 30. If I would have went to UNC, it probably been like 2 of us versus 30. It was different culture. I met people from different countries there, like a few different countries there, and the resources there, but I didn't feel like I belonged. Resources were there, but I wasn't getting any luck. And it's like, to network, and maybe I was burnt out because I did my undergrad and went straight to grad school, but the networking, I feel like I had to like kiss butt, and I just wasn't up to that. Like I remember I was one of the last ones to get an internship, and it was like for an apartment complex. I was a marketing intern, so most of my, I'm 70% of my job was being a leasing agent, and 30% I did some marketing. Like I did a marketing project here or there, but you know, so I just didn't feel that support. Versus at my HBCU, I told my advisor, because at the time I thought I was going to do music management. I love music, if you can't tell. Okay, I was able to get 2 music things. Like my advisor was like, oh, you into music management? We're going to send you that. Like I was able to take music courses as a business major. So I just felt like my personal being was more noticed at my HBCU versus my PWI. I got my degree. I'm very proud of it, honey. Worked hard for it. I know it gets names because it's a UNC school, but I don't feel connections there. Like I don't go back to UNC, my PWI for homecomings. Like my cohort from there, most of the time they're reaching out to me for a job opportunity because I work for a big company. So it's like, you know, you see that person on LinkedIn, oh, can you help me here? Versus my HBCU, I got people I've been talking to over 10 plus years. Literally I call Lily my bro or sis now. Like we're locked in. So that's my opinion. If you're one of them people, like I ain't trying to make friends, I'm trying to have the most resources, you know, go to that PWI. But if you're trying to grow as a person, still have resources, but grow as a person, feel connected, team HBCU all day, every day, baby. Okay, so that's my side. Comment down below how you feeling about it. I'm about to get back to working out. Thanks for watching. Bye.